Hey, Sandra.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Just having my tea. Just finished my workout. How
That's
are you?
awesome. Good. I was just thinking to myself, this is the first time actually doing a coffee talk that I actually have some sort of coffee with me. I have tea though, and I love it. And I'm so excited to chat this morning because I was thinking about you this morning, and your knowledge of nutrition is just one that inspires me so much. And I have so many questions to ask you, so I don't want to bombard you. So just tell me if I go too fast. But I wanted to start with understanding, like, did you always have a desire for understanding nutrition, or is this something that like always just came natural to you?
First off, I want to say thank you for saying that. Um, but no, I don't, it wasn't something that came naturally to me. I think I had a moment in my life where something very traumatic happened. Um, I had a heart attack and, sort of after healing and, you know, going through the process of finding out what I needed to do health wise, that was really a part of the healing, um, and taking care of myself. So I started reading a lot, reading books, articles, working with a nutritionist, and then after that I took a course, and I just really started to enjoy it, and you know, try different things and foods and meal plans. And I don't know, I just, it's sort of something that came to me later in life.
And I love the way I was stuck on you saying the word healing when it came to having a heart attack. And it's not something, I think, a word that usually comes to mind when somebody says they've had a heart attack, because to me it just sounded you were talking about like healing as a whole versus healing physically from having a heart attack. Did you have any idea or signs or symptoms that you were having a heart attack?
Um, no, I mean, at the time, I didn't really know what was going on. Um, I do have a very stressful day-to-day job, and I was walking out of work. I felt chest pain, and I think the first thing I thought was that I was having a panic attack, because I was in a rush and I was, trying to get to the bus, and I didn't really know. I called my husband, and thankfully he was in the city, and he came to meet me, and I just sort of had tingling in my arms, and um, was it lightheaded. I didn't hit the ground right away. I was walking and talking and doing everything else. So it wasn't until 2 weeks later we took a blood test, where it indicated that I had different levels in my blood that indicated that I had something happen to my heart. They made me rush to the hospital, and I went in to have a catheterization test, and it's where they put sort of a camera through your groin into your heart, and that's where they noticed there was like 100% blockage in 3 of my arteries. And the reason why I was walking and talking when it first happened was they were the smaller arteries in my heart, so the rest of my heart was sort of like pumping and doing double time. So I think when I started really working on nutrition, it was all about like heart healthy and what can I do to make sure I feel my heart the right way moving forward.
That's that's amazing. The fact that you really had no signs or symptoms early on, and to be able to, get yourself to the hospital and get treatment. I'm so thankful for that. How has your nutrition changed since then? But I actually want to back up. What was your nutrition like growing up? Because I recently learned something new about you, and you went to college to play volleyball, and you were a sports person in high school and in college. And, as an athlete, we have to fuel ourselves, a certain way. What was it like for you growing up eating?
Um, I don't think I had to worry about it. I was so active, so I don't think I really paid attention to veggies and a protein. It was just like whatever I wanted to eat, unfortunately, right? But I think
What
growing
was
up,
the salad?
it wasn't salad. It was whatever I wanted. So I don't think it really played a part in my daily life until, what happened to me. So that's
Yeah.
unfortunate, right? Or
Yeah.
it takes like a one incident to sort of make a change, but it's sort of fueled every other day since that day where, I just feel like that's like the why. The why is like, I want to live. I want to be with my kids. Like, it's easier, I feel like, for me to make choices because I know that I've already kind of, I had a chance already to like, this is my second chance. Like,
Right.
I
Right.
can't mess this up now. So
Right. Yeah, I still am a pizza, bagel, pretzels lover. Any type of bread is, and growing up I could eat a bagel for lunch, have pizza for dinner. It didn't matter. I was playing soccer,
yeah,
basketball, volleyball. I didn't really have an incident per se, except maybe motherhood became my incident. And
yeah,
my mom went through a lot of the similar things that you were expressing, and starting at a young age at 35 she had her first stent put in. I just never had been in a situation really until after becoming a mom and gaining all of the weight, and then kind of having that fear paralyze me of like, how am I going to do this, and it wasn't until I started, small steps, like really small steps at a time, making those little changes, that I started to gain that energy and that strength to even connect to my why. So I think, it can go either way with it. A lot of people have that one time, like, oh my goodness, and other
yeah.
times can be that slower approach to it. But let's talk a little bit more about, since that day you said you've taken nutrition courses and you've really changed the way that you eat. Are you paying more attention to how you're fueling your body? How did it start for you there?
Um, I think after meeting with the doctor and letting him know that I needed to start looking at like the contents of what I was eating. So the nutritionist, just started talking to me about the food groups and, what are the macronutrients that you really need to fuel your body. And I was just like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. What are the macronutrients? And then just learning like what was a protein, what was a carbohydrate, what was a vegetable, and just learning about like what good carbs are. Cause I think when you read, sometimes people are like, oh my God, like I can't eat a carb, I'm going to get fat. And actually carbs fuel your body. And I just think like, as I started to read about, certain things, like, knowing that each of the food groups have an integral part in like what I need to eat on a daily basis. So I started to take a look at that. And then, really start to notice what foods like I digested really well or not. What foods I may feel really after I'm eating really bad. And, I think when you start to realize like you eat something fried and the next day you have even sometimes after you eat it, you have that like salty taste in your mouth, like your stomach kind of hurts. Like, I started to realize fueling my body with great food, like I just felt better and I
Hmm.
want to continue to do it. So I found, obviously, joining Beachbody, I also found some great nutritional programs. I started with the portion, the container controls, UPF, and, I was fascinated and, did that for a little bit. And, um, I think I started to read too a little bit about different kinds of plans and eating, and just trying them out and learning something new from all of the plans.
That's awesome. And let me ask you this: what have you noticed with your body? Because being with you the past few years, and doing all these different fitness programs and working on our nutrition together, I have seen a huge change in you physically, emotionally, and mentally. How has fueling your body changed you in those areas?
You know what? It used to be so hard to wake up every morning to work out. Um, but I feel like I got to a point where you create that habit. It's like 21 days to create a habit, just, like they do in 21 Day Fix. It's totally true. I got to a point where I actually wanted to. And this sort of time that I took in the morning to work out, and start my day was sort of like this me time that is super precious. And I feel like before that, and being so busy as a mom, like you just were giving to everyone else, and not yourself. So, I started to really grasp and enjoy that time where I just feel like it made me happier. And then finding community with you guys too is just like finding these like-minded people who want, who really want to be healthy and need accountability and need support and need motivation. Like all of these things drive like me, and just make me feel good. So it's like, why wouldn't you want to do something that makes you feel good? So it's just like you're addicted to that, right? You're addicted to wanting to feel your body good, wanting to be healthy, wanting to, be there for your kids. Like it sort of starts and explodes.
And I think, the biggest thing is, you said a lot of key points, and, as givers and giving constantly, you know, growing up thinking that, if you give to others, you'll be happy, but you can't fill from an empty cup, so finding that time. And it's so funny because I was never a wake up in the morning and like, when I started this, like, I am not getting up at 5 a.m. I am not getting up at
You're
6.
up before me.
But I was at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it would be a fight with my husband to watch the kids so I could get my time in. And it became, instead, we then took it and we both decided. I asked for help. I leaned in, which, goes to part of that supporting community.
Yes.
Learning the process of leaning in is not an easy one at times. And having this support has just been such a game changer, because I saw other people getting up and I asked him to do it with me. And then now you guys joining us like every morning. He doesn't want to come down. He's like, no, it's your time with your girls. And I'm like, no, it's all right. You can come down and work out. But, I think it's that whole combination of everything. And my mom used to get up early in the morning and I'd be like, why are you getting up and having a cup of tea? Like, I just didn't understand it. Now I get it. Like,
Yeah.
it changes the way I view the rest of my day, because I've done something for me. Usually I'm at the bottom of the list that I'm hoping to check off. But because in the morning we've checked this off already, I have more of a desire to fuel my body correctly because I've already done some of the work. In 30
Yeah.
minutes, I've really done a good ton of my job for the day, where now focusing on the fueling part has really helped out, tremendously.
I think the one takeaway that I'll just highlight that you just said that resonates is that you start with you. You start with you. You're the most important thing. And then everything else comes after that. Cause like you can't help anyone else until you help yourself, right?
Right. 100%. And for me, I don't know if you've seen it with your kids and with your husband or with your relationship or even with your job, but since making that change and fueling myself first and filling my cup up first, it's overflowing to them, where I used to have to sparingly give to all. And I would be so exhausted, where now I'm leading by action versus words, which is less exhausting on me. I don't know if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
And I love this portion of it. So I'm so thankful that we got to chat for a little bit this morning, and I want to schedule some more time next week and jump on and continue sharing, because like I said, you're just such a wealth of information and inspiration.
You are too, my friend.
Have an awesome day.
You too.